Shipping out weekend orders today. And one of those orders is a shirt that went for over $100. It's a banger. I was stoked on Friday when I sold this, so you'll have to see. Stick around to see it. Trisha says, I'm wearing my Sublime shirt that you sent me a couple years back. Yeah, was thrifting and in Goodwill, and Trisha said, I want that shirt. So I bought it and sent it to her. That's awesome. Steve, reselling Idaho in the house. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Ours was a packed weekend, so not thinking about business related right now. Yeah, it was packed. We had a friend staying with us on Friday night with his kids. And then he left Saturday. Saturday, we kind of regrouped, cleaned the house. Then we had a dinner supporting another friend of ours that came into town. We got to connect with her. She lives overseas, so we got to kind of hear what's been going on with her and have dinner. That was great. Sunday was busy as well. Went to church and then went out to eat last night. So it just felt like this weekend went by really quickly. We had a lot of stuff going on. We're looking forward to a weekend that's a little more tame, a little calmer, but it's always great catching up with people. Always great catching up with people. Went to a new restaurant last night for us. So I'm in a college town, and right now the college students aren't here. So when 25,000 college students leave, probably not 25, there are 25,000 enrolled, but some of them stay throughout the summer. But at least 15 to 20,000 people leave in the summer, and our town looks a lot different. I say town, it's 100,000 people here, but more of a city. And so we went down close to campus and enjoyed the quiet streets. Got there's this place called Plomo. I don't know if it's a franchise, if you guys have heard of it, but it's a quesadilla bar. Went down there, got quesadillas and chips and queso. It was amazing. We'll definitely be back. But definitely enjoying the quiet campus vibes for another week or so until students come back. But yeah, it's crazy. The streets are, every summer for 2 months, the streets are always like really quiet, not a lot of traffic. It's nice. Like you go anywhere, but when the students come back, it's packed. And they're crazy drivers too. Yeah, quesadilla bar had some elote, chips and queso. It was really good. We kind of thought like, how's this going to taste? Kind of like no, not really like a Chipotle. It basically had some presets and you just picked one. Yeah, I alluded to sales this weekend. They were decent. It's kind of been the tail of the tape lately. Silky, thanks for following. I've got an over $100 shirt in there. You're gonna want to see that. It is awesome. I thought about doing it on a Whatnot, but it's kind of a rare piece that you're looking for that one collector. It probably would not do well on Whatnot, but it's sold anyways, so it's out. By the way, I'm scheduled my first show. I haven't done a lot of the details in it, but it's out there. If you're looking for it, you can go follow me on Whatnot. I don't have it linked up here yet, but if you just go into Whatnot and type in my name, Jason Hayes, all one word, you can see my show. If you're already following me, it'll be easy for you to find. August 15th at 8:30 Eastern will be my first Whatnot show. I'd love to get some people bookmarked down there. Probably come on here this week. Actually, not probably. I will be at some point doing some videos on what my giveaways are. I'll have 3 giveaways for you. I already have 2 picked out, ready to go, including this isn't the big giveaway. This is probably the beginner giveaway. Check out this hat. Look at this hat, guys. Is this not sweet? Miller High Life, like trucker style beaded hat here, brand new with tags. Look at this. Trucker hat, pretty sweet. This is going to be the first giveaway. So if you show up on time, you'll be entered into the giveaway if you're following me. That's not the big giveaway. That's not the buyer appreciation. I'll show you that one later. But I saw that hat and I was like, I got to get this. This is pretty sweet. I honestly want to keep it for myself, but I'm going to give it away. I don't drink Miller High Life. I've never really tried it. Nothing against Miller High Life, but I feel like someone will love that hat. Steve, thanks for bookmarking. You may be the first one. Are you the first one? I haven't checked to see if anyone's bookmarked it before you. But yes, August 15th, that's 2 weeks from tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern. I'm going to be following Chris's show. So Chris at Peak's going to go. He's going to run his show for an hour, and then I'm going to go. My first show. I'm excited. Can't wait. Of course, there's always like those beginner jitters and vibes of like, how's this going to go? Is this going to be fun? But I think that will quickly pass. I think we'll have some fun. Thank you, Rhonda. Just went over and bookmarked. Faithfully, I'm not sure what you're saying, but finish your thought and I'll respond. Yes, thank you guys for bookmarking it. I appreciate it. All right, we've got 4 or 5 sales on Poshmark. Poshmark's been doing great. Obviously, the last day of the month here, but I'm already 7 units over what I sold last month in July. Which July is usually a horrible month. So Auto Posture doing well. Got a sale on Depop. Got 1 sale on Facebook, and 7 could be 8 if this buyer will pay for their item on eBay. Oh, where at? Your show, is it on Whatnot? Yes, it'll be my first Whatnot show. So like I said, I don't have it linked up above, but if you go to Whatnot and type in Jason Hayes, all one word, you'll find it. August 15th at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Okay, so I'm going to start with the 2 platforms that I just have 1 unit on, so we can go ahead and knock those out. And one of these items sold on Facebook, a really old item. Leslie, what's going on? Just mentioned my first Whatnot show, August 15th. I don't know if you heard that, but would love for you to bookmark it if you're looking for it. You won't find it up above. But if you type in Jason Hayes, you'll find me. I think you're already following me, though. Would you recommend Depop? I cross-list to Posh, eBay, Mercari, and Facebook, but haven't done Depop. I'm on the fence on Depop. A lot of you who have been in my lives lately have probably heard me say I've been on Depop for a year to 2 years. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to stay on there. I did have 1 sale, but I'll show you the sale that I made. So, I mean, this is like a Depop item. This would go really well on Depop and actually sold on Depop. I accepted 3 offers on these Birkenstock sandals. 3 offers. The first 2 never paid. That's the frustrating part about Depop and the reason why I'm considering getting off there. Just because I get offers so many times. They have a day to pay and then it basically cancels. Most of the time they don't pay. And so I'm kind of getting tired of that little rhythm there. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. I think if I have some really vintage pieces that I think will do well on Depop, I'll keep it or I'll list it over to Depop. So I probably won't completely deactivate my account, but I will probably drastically reduce the items I'm putting over there. It's just a lot of time putting the hash marks, selecting like streetwear or sportswear and all that, and then not really getting a lot of sales. To give you more numbers behind that, I've made 8 Depop sales in July. I made 18 last month, 15 the month before that. So you can see a big dip. I don't know what that is attributed to. 4% of my sales, $265. That's not a lot. So, I mean, Mercari made 2 more sales and $432 this month, which I've already pretty much shut down Mercari. So yeah, the offers are frustrating. I wish that Depop would take away their have a day to pay and just do automatic payment, just like Poshmark, Mercari. The giving the buyer a day to, it's really crappy that most buyers don't pay. And a lot of times the offers I get on Depop are 50%. It's like, if I listed an item at 35, it'll be exactly 50%, $17.50. I'm like, I'm not accepting this. It's just a waste of time. So yeah, my advice, you can try it out, see for yourself, throw some stuff on there. See, maybe, people selling different things may have better luck. Maybe it's what I'm selling, but if you've got vintage stuff, I would definitely put it on there. Like this is definitely a classic look right now. A lot of people, I had a lot of interest on these sandals on all platforms. If I go to eBay, I probably had a handful of watchers. Depop, I had several watchers. So yes, the right items will sell on Depop. Bobby says 26 sales this month, no hashtags. That's good. Bobby, what do you sell on Depop? I'm sure we'd all love to know. Are you putting all your stuff on there or just select items? Laura, that's a really good tip. So Laura on TikTok, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm also live streaming on TikTok where I'm reading a lot of these comments. Laura says, and I guess I need to check the comments on YouTube as well. Um, Laura says, I started sending a private message to Depop people that sent an offer reminding them to pay. Yes. And I've done that as well. I've got it like a little note bookmarked in my phone that it says, hey, like, thanks for your offer. I've accepted. I'll ship this out as soon as payment is received. Please know that the transaction will cancel after a day with no payment. That's kind of standard for me. I send that out as soon as I accept an offer. It very rarely leads to someone paying. Yeah, Bobby's saying the same thing. So yeah, you can try that too. That's definitely a great tip. Hi Ginger, thanks for jumping in. Hope you had a great weekend. How are things on the East Coast up there in Connecticut? Bobby says I list everything over there. Sold some Tommy Bahama shirts in a bundle. They were all smalls. Okay, good sale. Books on Depop. Interesting. I know that people sell things other than clothing, but books, that's interesting to me. So, I mean, obviously Bobby's doing well with it. There are other people out there doing well with Depop. So if you're watching this and saying, should I jump on a Depop? Maybe I'm just not selling the right things. I don't specialize in vintage, though some of my items are vintage. Obviously, I love finding that, but most of my items are more modern clothing. So that could be the reason why I may be priced too high as well. I do boost all of my items, so that helps. Not very many items sell boosted, even though they're all boosted. So if you're not boosting, I would suggest doing that. I think probably 20 to 30% of my items actually sell promoted on Depop, even though they're all promoted. Yeah, Wayne, that's a great question. I don't know. eBay needs to change it. I won't go into that rant. That's an easy home run rant to go into. Um, Still sell a lot on Depop, but it's mainly things that would be vintage or Y2K and Western boots. Yeah. So like I said, I'll keep Depop around, just like I'm no longer listing on Grailed, but I will keep Grailed around and post those higher end, especially if I've got like a shirt, like a Burberry shirt. I'm gonna list that on Grailed for sure, and hope that, and definitely list that international as well. There are still items I'm cross posting, but most of my items I'm no longer putting on Grailed. I'm just letting those things sell off, and I will keep those sites for select items. Mercari, I've stopped listing on Mercari as well. But if I get non-clothing items, I'll put that on Mercari, and sometimes shoes. But clothing doesn't do well on Mercari. Their shipping is too expensive. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm running the business right now. eBay, Poshmark, 1-2 punch. Facebook, definitely, because the fees are so small. It's worth it. And I get a lot of like local meetups too, where I don't pay any fees or any shipping. And the great thing about Facebook as well as Poshmark, no returns. So it sells, it's out. I don't think I've had a return, except for, with the exception, a couple of items where I listed it wrong, it had a flaw or something like that, and it got sent back. Yeah, Bobby, I'm the same. I'm sitting at 2 sales on Grailed on the month. I toyed with the idea of just deleting everything this morning, but I was like, you know what? Why take it down? I've already done the work. It's there. I'll just delist it once it sells and make that more of a curated page for those higher end items. Okay. I mentioned I need to ship. Let's get to shipping. Of course, if you guys have questions at all, if you have comments, things you want to say, you're welcome to let me know. Items that sold this weekend. If you had some banger sales and you want to mention to everyone some bolos, please do that in the chat. You can always just stop by, say hello. If you're driving or at work and you can't, that's okay. Continue watching. Don't get fired for me, or don't get in a wreck for me, though. Make sure you're safe. Stop Facebook, had no sales in 2 months. Yeah, with Facebook, I've noticed you have to relist those listings all the time. Every day I go do batches. You have to keep Facebook fresh. And I've noticed so many times when I relist items and I go in batches, that's when I make my sales. It's not very often on things that haven't been relisted. Leslie, so glad to hear it. She says sales popped off this week and I was shocked. Yeah, I started noticing a little more interest. And I think, as we're getting closer to the end of summer, that's going to, like it always does, it picks up. We're getting really close to flannel season, which majority of my items are not warmer, colder weather items. So it's no surprise to me that in the summer it's a harder hit for me because I'm not selling flannels. I have a lot of flannels. I'm not selling those in the summer. I did sell a few this weekend though. Facebook is much better for electronics, furniture. Clothes do not do so hot, I've noticed. Yeah. I still sell a good amount of clothes though. If I'm looking at Facebook and I've got one item that sold on Facebook, the guy just Venmo'd me and I'm going to ship it out. I've had 18 units sell on Facebook this month, 10 the month before. So this is my second highest month of the year on Facebook. Okay. Let's ship out these Birkenstocks. So I listed these guys. I honestly picked these up for $3 at a thrift store. They had all their shoes $3, all women's shoes. The tops are in great condition. I mean, you can see like the toes, got a little wear. Bottoms, little wear. Obviously normal for someone wearing these, but the tops, like not any scratches on the leather here. Leather looks great. Obviously, what's going to be seen when the person's wearing them is in great condition. I kind of second guessed these. I was like, do people, obviously I know Birkenstocks are in, but do people want a used pair that, like there's some kind of fraying on the toes? I don't know why for $3, I was like, of course I'm going to. I honestly thought I would list these for 29 bucks and sell them fast. But I got home, started doing some comp research, and I was like, I better bump these bad boys up. We all know that Birkenstocks sell for close to $100 brand new. So I listed them at 59. Took an offer of $50 on Depop. They finally paid. I actually did an IG rant on Depop, and then the person paid after that. So maybe I just need to do that more often. $50 plus shipping on these Birkenstocks. Classic look right now. If you see any Birkenstocks, pick them up. I would even say if I found some in worse shape than this, I'd still get in the 20s or 30s for these if you can find them for $5 to $10. So that was a good sale. $50 plus. I think I did 9 shipping on Depop. Yeah, because I assumed I'd probably put it in a padded flat rate. Kai's mom just said, I just sold one, LOL. What'd you sell? What did you sell? I don't know if you can hear my stomach, but I am hungry. Let's go to Alexandria, Kentucky. Most of you already know this, but I use Pirate Ship. You can get a free account there. You can link your eBay store. It's free to ship. So I'm going to go over and paste in this address that the buyer's already got in the order. And let's take a look at this. These are going to be under £1. So I technically could ship them out, but I could get them in a poly mailer. I do want to make sure I don't know if I want to do a poly mailer, but I could wrap these pretty well in bubble wrap just to give them a little more protection, because Priority Mail Cubic is $6.95. Ground Advantage $6.76. So I could go even cheaper than Priority Mail Cubic. And then obviously the padded flat rate is $8.30. If I do Priority Mail Cubic though, for 19 cents more, I can put it in a Priority Mail box. Oh, sold a flannel. Okay, yeah. I'll show you a flannel I sold this week, and I took an offer a lot lower than I typically do, but It's just like, what the heck? Let's get it out. The cost of a poly mailer for me is like 18 cents. So we've got a 19-cent difference. It really is break even here. I'm going to go priority mail just because it will get there faster, and go ahead and buy the label for $6.95. These actually did sell promoted. So I had Depop fees of $8.42. I had a boosted fee for $4.73. Still, with everything in, all the fees and shipping and everything, I ended up making $35.18 profit on those Birkenstocks, and something that sold within 2 weeks of listing them. Wayne says worth it for 19 cents. Yeah, buyer gets it maybe a day or two faster. I'm still insured on ground advantage and priority. That doesn't change anything, but if I'm looking between the two, I'm going to make sure and get it there faster. In your experience, what's the main advantage? Question on YouTube. What's the main advantage of pirate ship over eBay shipping? That's a great question. Pirate ship is great for platforms that are not eBay. So Mercari Grailed. I don't really know about Grailed anymore because their shipping is changing. But Mercari, Depop, Facebook. I do my own shipping, meaning I don't use Depop's labels. I don't use Facebook or Mercari's labels. I use pirate ship. So I'm able to give a little cheaper rate. Mercari shipping is ridiculous. I'm able to give a cheaper rate and ship it out through there. The difference between pirate ship and eBay, it used to be that if you were shipping out heavy items, you could get a cheaper rate on pirate ship compared to eBay's shipping. But now I'm starting to see a very similar rate. I haven't noticed that pirate ship is much cheaper than eBay on a lot of things. I'd love to know y'all's thoughts on that as well. Are you seeing cheaper rates? I actually think eBay is cheaper than pirate ship for the most part. Can you all hear Finley? Big Sweat. I'm going to come back and answer that question, but I need to go check on her and make sure she's all right. So I'll answer that question while I'm wrapping these up. But yeah, that's a great question. For those watching on YouTube, got a viewer asking, how do you do your own shipping on Mercari? And basically what I do is I do free shipping, because you obviously don't want to select the Mercari label. I do free shipping, and then I just bump up the price. So if I'm selling these Birkenstocks for $50 on Mercari and I want to charge $9 for shipping, I do free shipping at $59. So that's how you do it. And then I go buy the label on pirate ship, come back to Mercari, put in the tracking, and then we're good to go. Because I mean, for example, if I'm selling these Birks on Mercari, the shipping is going to be like $10, $12, maybe even more. Whereas I charge $9 and I get a better deal to the buyer than what they're going to notice there. I just remembered I was assuming that these were going to be under a pound. That rate is for a pound, and we're still good. We're at 15 ounces, so I'm glad that was the case, or I'd have to redo that. Printer is not turning on. It may not be plugged in. Hang on just a sec. So if you're shipping out on places like Depop, or you're doing your own label, you just have to go back and mark it as shipped and then input the tracking. All right, and then I always do the feedback right after I mark it as shipped. Okay, so that's my Depop order going out. That one's done. Yeah, Emporium Jim saying, thanks. I've been using all the native shipping on the various sites, but I think that cost me sales. I think I'll run some experiments. Yeah. I don't know this for sure, but sometimes if you do your own shipping label, like on Mercari, you may not be covered as much. I think if you use Mercari's label, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but you may be covered if, like, say they lose the package or something. But when you do your own shipping, then you're reliant on who you're shipping it with to ensure that package. So the great thing about that is USPS no longer has first class. Their Ground Advantage has insurance. So even if you're shipping out, a 15-ounce package on USPS, you have insurance now, which we didn't have before on first class. Switch It Style, what's going on? What is going on? What is up this Monday morning? Okay. My other items, so that was Depop. I had a Facebook sale. The guy was like, hey, I'm trying to pay on Facebook, but it's not working. I was like, well, you can just Venmo me if you want. And he did. So he's got these classic Clark Chukka boots, Clark's, size 13, really good condition. Like, I pulled these out and I was like, I don't know why these didn't sell faster. Just to give you an idea, had these since, oh, that's weird. So I listed on July 30th of 2021. I sold them on July 30th of 2023, exactly 2 years to the day, for $23 plus shipping. I used to sell those all the time for $35 plus shipping on eBay, but obviously competition has brought those down. So it used to be 35 is now 35 with free shipping. So he Venmo'd me, which is great, no fees. I need to, and then I just had him send me his address. So again, going back to Pirate Ship, this is going to Huntington Beach, California. So it's going to be a more expensive rate for me on this one. Shipping out from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Do you have any Californians watching, either on YouTube or TikTok? I think these are going to be under 2 pounds. It's typically, I don't know, we'll see. I may be wrong. Yeah, way off. Okay. So I charge 12 shipping. That's going to be about right on. Going to California. So priority mail is $13.74. Ground Advantage, $10.03. So the difference in almost $4. So I'm going to pick Ground Advantage. for 10.03, but I can't use a priority box now. I've got to find my own box. So that's the disadvantage, and I've mentioned that several times. The disadvantage of going around advantages. Now you have to have your own boxes in order to ship stuff, and I don't really have one. I guess I do have this one box that I used to ship out shoes in, so I'll see if these will fit. Say it's about time to get some more of these. Switch It Style just got back from Denver yesterday. How was your trip there? Oh yeah, those are gonna fit. How was Denver? What thrift stores did you go to? Did you do anything else? Do anything for fun out there? I forget what you were going for. I remember you telling me. Yeah. Yeah. Hoping that this will still be under 3 pounds. Or that's gonna drive it up again. Big statement there. Ah, bummer. 3 pounds, 2 ounces. Brian on YouTube says, did that storm make it down your way last night? It hit up hard here on Joplin. No, it didn't. I don't know if we got any rain. Sorry to hear that you had a big storm up there. All right, so 2 ounces over. So that's gonna increase the rate. But like I said, I still charge $12 shipping. I should be okay. Got some room here. We'll see what it ends up being. Eric in the house. What's going on, Eric? Okay, so not much. 1042 is the new shipping cost for Ground Advantage cubic. So I'm still doing okay. Not going to make a lot on these. $17.14, but it helps that I didn't. It helps that I didn't have any fees because the buyer just Venmo'd me. Thank you, Mac. Appreciate that. Elitch Gardens. Okay, fun. I went there for a It was like a Park Pass concert combo, which was pretty fun. Hope you had some fun there. If under, oh, I see. Okay, Mac, what are you thinking about Auto Posture? How's it going for you? I know it generated a sale for you or two right away. Did you have a good weekend with Auto Posture bringing in some sales for you? It says love it. So glad you love it. You got well, I don't know if you went ahead and got the subscription or if you did the trial, but it's already paying off for you. I'm just going in to let the buyer know that I shipped these. All right. Okay. So that's Facebook. We did Depop. Now let's move on to Poshmark. Steve says relist. Steve says loving Auto Posture. I didn't set a minimum to relist when I first started, though. So a few days I relisted 100 items each day. Now I changed it around 30 to spread it out more evenly. Okay, cool. Literally, the first sale paid for itself. Don't you love that? Don't you love that? You're like, should I do it? Should I do it? You do it, and then boom, make a sale, and it shows you how worth it is. Okay. Going out on Poshmark. So we're shipping out Poshmark orders now. Cabela's button-down shirt. I don't really pick these up anymore, but I actually picked up 2 of these for like $3 or $4 each. They were the same size, really crisp. You can tell they've been like dry cleaned. And I bundled these together and tried to get like $39 for 2. And someone messaged me and said, hey, can I buy one of the shirts in the bundle for 25? And I was like, absolutely. So I sold that and then just took a good offer on this for 18 just to get it out. So that was a 2XL tall and in amazing condition. Really crisp. But like I said, I very rarely will pick that up. I did that as an experiment to bundle together and then ended up selling them separate. Steve says, I read somewhere on TikTok that Auto Posture is going to be adding cross-listing. And yes, I was actually told that by the person, I believe it's the woman that started it, but whoever's their support staff messaged me and said, this is a feature we're going to be adding, cross-listing onto that site. Which I already have cross-listing. I'm not sure if I'll use it or not. We'll see. The advantage of that would be if you're cross-listing on Auto Posture, then your links are already connected, so you don't have to worry about your broken links. That would be the huge advantage if you're cross-listing and relisting through Auto Posture, which right now I'm cross-listing on Bindu, relisting on Auto Posture, and then that's where I have to go and manually take down if an item sells. Okay, I alluded to, which by the way, I forgot to turn on my mic. Is this thing on? Can you guys hear this on YouTube? Is the mic working? Got it down here and just forgot about it. I don't know if that sounds better, but I'll pull it up just a little bit. I alluded to a flannel that sold this weekend, took an offer of 18 bucks on Poshmark. This sold like right after that Cabela shirt. I typically would get closer to 30 on this. It had a mark in the back, very small mark. I don't know why I was feeling like taking an offer for 18, but I did. So it's gone. I didn't make a lot of margin on this just because 18 is kind of low for a 18 is kind of low for LL Bean flannel. Especially this one was 2XL tall as well. I wonder if this was the same buyer. That would make sense if it is. No, it's not. Gosh, I remember the old days of the Wild West. You'd list an LL Bean flannel for 39 and you'd take an offer for 34 all day. We're talking like 3 years ago. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an OG eBayer because I know some people have been on, like David at Lion Creek Boutique have been doing it for like 20 plus years. All right, does Chico's sell? Yes, I didn't get a lot of money for it, but here it is. Item that the neighbor gave me, brand new with tags, this like moto jacket. I'm just curious because I thought this was low for what I got. I'm kind of alluding to a price here, but what do you guys think I got for this? Took an offer on Poshmark. This sat around for a while. 548 days to be exact. I listed this on January 28th, 2022. So a year and a half to sell that brand new Chico's jacket. And I had that priced up and kept bringing it down. So what do you think it sold for? Or if you've sold something like this, what do you typically get for something like that? Chico's, I don't think is like a great resale brand, but this was new with tags. I thought someone's going to snag this. Now, mind you, the tag says it retails for 129 bucks. I've never been into a Chico's store. I don't know. I don't know how much, that will typically go for, but Steve says 26. Steve, did you check my Poshmark page? That's how much it sold for. Exactly. 26. That was a good guess. If that was a guess. Was it exactly it on the money? I've had this priced at like, I think I started at like 50, 60 bucks and I've just slowly been lowering it. I had it for 35, offer went out for 29. Buyer made a counter for 26 and I'm like, is it really this low? And I was like, it's time to move it. So it went out. So Ruth in Abingdon, Virginia is getting a great jacket here. Ruth, you got a steal there. 26 bucks plus all the fees. I'm not going to make a lot on that because I'm splitting the profits with my neighbor. But on that Chico's jacket, I made $10.40. He made $10.40. So it's more than I had, but not a lot. Not a lot. All right, next up on Poshmark, this vintage Gap heavy flannel. This was another old item that has sat around. I don't know why I had this so cheap. If maybe it was just because it was um, so old, I was just ready to get rid of it. Pocket flipped up. It looks like the button was broken. Okay, so it was kind of a flawed item. Took an offer for $10 on this. $10. It's out the door. And this took, listen to this, 928 days. This was my oldest item of the weekend, January 13th of 2021. That's how long I've had this. Had it for 14, offer for 10. It's out. Guys, my mindset is switching. My mindset is switching. For so long, I've been thinking, how much is this item worth? And of course, I'm still going to keep thinking like that. But I'm realizing more and more it's time to move stuff, and maintaining items and having to relist them and just all the work that comes with that. Even though I'm using auto posture, that helps. But the work of like maintaining items, it's sitting in my garage, it's taking up space, it's taking up space that another item could have. I'm switching my mindset to let's start moving stuff. Of course, I still want good money, but I think that was the reason why I accepted such a low offer on the LL Bean flannel, because it was like, here's a buyer in hand, let's move it. I paid $4 or $5 for this. Here's a buyer for 18. Max says about the head out thrifting. It's a great day to have a great day. Yes, it is a great day. It started off beautiful here. Hope your thrifting is very fruitful and abundant. Okay. So on the Gap shirt, I didn't make much. I made 12 cents. That's okay. I got my money back. I didn't lose money. All right, let's go over to eBay. I'm gonna save my last Poshmark for the very end because it was my biggest sale of the weekend. So you got to stick around if you want to see it. Over $100 shirt. All right, moving over to eBay. Got the notification that the buyer just paid on eBay for the item that I accepted their offer on this morning. Here's a Nike Golf Polo. Now, I don't typically pick these up unless they're new with tags. I'll consider them. This was a new with tag, 3XL, had like a realtor branded logo on the front there. And this even had a broken button. The very bottom button was broken. I didn't realize that until I got home. I probably wouldn't have bought it if I had seen that, but I paid like $4 for it, and it sold on a best offer of $20.50 plus shipping. I mentioned, I'm kind of changing my mindset to let's get stuff out. Let's not hold on to stuff and try and get a couple of bucks more when I've got a buyer right now that wants to pay for this item. So with that being said, I'm going to be dipping my feet into Whatnot. You don't make as much money per item typically, but you get rid of stuff a lot faster. So I'm going to be dipping my toes into Whatnot. If you weren't in here earlier when I mentioned, I don't have this link to Bob, but if you go to Whatnot, if you're not following me already, Jason Hayes, all one word, no middle initial in there. I've got my first show scheduled for August 15th at 8:30 Eastern. It's going to be a blast. I'm shooting to have 40 to 50 items. I'm going to have 3 giveaways. This isn't the big giveaway, so I'll show you the big giveaway later on, but this is going to be the first giveaway. This brand new with tags, Miller High Life trucker hat, cool patch, got the bead right there on the front, brand new, got the tag on the top there. So if you want in for a chance, you got to go find my show, bookmark it, and this will be the first giveaway that day. So you got to be following me to enter and get this hat. I'm going to have a bunch of great items. I'm going to have some new with tags items that I'll be throwing up. Everything will be $1. You guys may just rob me completely out, but I'm going to put everything in $1. Angie, what's going on? Good morning. I may get robbed that night. I may get all my stuff stolen for a few bucks, but it's going to happen. We're going to give it a shot. User 963 says, just sold a Razorback hoodie this weekend. Nice. Did you get good money for it? All right, the Nike Polo left me, I got to put my shipping in there. $26.50 all in, paid $4 for it, made a profit of $12.11. And I knew when I got that, I was debating in the store. I knew when I got it, I was like, it's not going to be a huge home run for me, but it still will bring in something. And that didn't last long. 31 days. So a month from listing it, I got all my money back plus $12.50. Leslie is back. Better than ever. Got this Primal cycling vest, women's. Got this cool graphic on the front. It says unlikely cyclist. Okay, I guess I don't think I ever read that when I bought this, but it was new with tags. The unlikely cyclist, Primal right there. Women's 2XL. I didn't get much for this. $22.50 plus shipping, but hey, I paid $4 for it. This is going to Shreveport, Louisiana. Neighbor to me. I didn't get much, but my profit on this was actually right in that sweet spot. $15 to $20 is what I'm aiming for on average. And I made $15.72 margin on that. It did take a while to sell. Primal doesn't do too well for me. It was new with tags even. It still took 421 days to sell. Wow, Kyle, I'm so glad to hear that. That's a big score. Kyle says, oh, you a big thank you. You made a bolo video about CC Filson a long time ago. Later, I found 3 different Filson jackets at a local thrift store. Felt like a jackpot. That is a jackpot. If you find 1, that's a jackpot. You found 3. 3 over 2 different occasions. So yes, that's huge. Congrats on the big find there. It's not a brand I find very often, but man, when I do, it's a good day. I still have a Filson shirt sitting in my store for over $100. Sent a few offers out this weekend. I could definitely lower that bad boy down to like 70s or 80s and probably sell it, but it's a vintage piece, and I feel like that buyer is just waiting to take it. It's a long sleeve, so I think once the weather changes, that may go. All right, Vineyard Vines, men's 2XL, just your basic whale polo. Got the whale on the chest there. Sold for an offer of $22 plus shipping. going to Nicholasville, Kentucky. Profit of $13 on that. Quick sale too, 16 days. I've had some quick sales lately. All right, we are trucking along on eBay. All right, blazers are something I've been more particular with lately because they take up a lot of space. I've got a closet full of them, but I had two go out consecutively on eBay this weekend on Sunday, and that felt good because I got good money for both of these. And I moved two big blazers out of my closet, cleared a couple of spots for things later on. User 963, yes, I have. My sales are up on Poshmark since I've started using it. Um, I'm still about 3 weeks into this trial. I say trial. I'm paying for it, but I'm seeing how it goes. David, thank you for that. Um, yes, I think it's worth it for sure. It's worth it to have some kind of service. There are others out there, but I can vouch for Auto Posture. I'm using it to share my closet, to follow all those things, but also to um, relist all my stale listings. A lot of people are saying it's a huge thing. I definitely think that if you're selling on Poshmark, you have to have something. You have to have some kind of bot, and Auto Posture is that. And it's one of the cheapest options that I'm seeing out there for that. If you're interested, I've got it linked above in my bio. You can definitely go check it out, and they've got a trial, but it's like $25. So you make a sale or two, and you've already paid for the subscription. So just think of it like that. You can try it out for a month or two, and then if it's not for you, just cancel it. But they do have other features they're going to be adding soon on that. Laurel Creek Soap says, I like your shirt. Are you following Chris at Peak? Thrifting is my cardio. I'm building up inventory to justify. Okay. I don't know how much inventory you have right now, but it may be worth trying now. I mean, if you've only got a few items, then it's definitely not worth it. But once you hit a certain point where it gets to be a lot to do the sharing aspect and relisting, and it saves you time, that's when I would consider it. So yeah, maybe good to wait, but depending on where your inventory level is at. But yeah, check it out. Check it out at some point. I know you're on the fence. Tropical Flipper, thank you for the heart, by the way. This blazer, the first of two, Brooks Brothers, Madison. I think this took a while to sell because it's just like a standard black. There are tons of these out there. If you go look at for blazers, there are tons of just solid color black blazers, Brooks Brothers even. So I don't remember. Well, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'll tell you, it took 289 days to sell. So we're looking at 7-8 months, 8-9 months to sell, and it went for $40.50 plus 12 shipping. So blazers are great because the margin is great, but there's so many selling blazers now that they do take a little longer if they're not more of a unique pattern or a cashmere or something like that. Pinstripe tends to do better if I find stuff that's pinstripe, or if it's more of a modern fit. But yes, love moving this out of the closet. And of course, because it's a dark color, it's going to show everything. So just giving it a little brush up before I send this out. Tropical Flipper, how was your weekend? Did you have a great weekend? If I sell hot on one type of items, I don't know if I'm understanding that correctly. Should I only sell them? Seems logical, but want an opinion. All right, I'm going to go ground advantage on this for 917. And I said Blazers bring in good margin, 28.83 on that. So that's great. If I'm making over $20 profit per item, that's really good for me. I'm usually averaging right about that $20 profit margin per item on items that I thrifted. And again, I typically wouldn't ship that out ground advantage. I wouldn't have considered an item that didn't have insurance, and that's the great thing about ground advantage. It's cheaper, saved me about 80 cents. It gets there around the same time, and I still get $100 insurance. Okay, next blazer that sold. Speaking of Chris at Peak, wearing a shirt right here. If you're not following Chris at Peak, great guy. Mentioned this brand to me, and I've since picked them up, and they sell really well. Ermenegildo Zegna. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but it's it's hard to pronounce. Sold this blazer for $62, including shipping. It's just a wool blazer. It's like 93% virgin wool, 7% nylon blend in there, and still got decent money for it. That's on the higher end of what I get for blazers. I mean, you saw the last one went for $40 plus shipping. This went for 50 plus the 12 shipping. And again, another item I would have paid like $6 to $8 for at the thrift store. And it's going out for 62 all in. So same scenario, $9.94 on priority mail, or I can go ground advantage for $9.17. I'm going to do that. That left me with a profit of $38.62. So between those two sales that were back to back on Sunday, almost 60, what is that? 28 and 38. So almost $70 profit combined on just those two items. Lori Piani, Peter Millar blazers did well for me. Hard to find them though. Yeah, I've picked up a few Peter Millar blazers, and they have done well, especially if they're like a linen blend. If my sales are mostly shoes, should I focus on shoes? I think that depends. It's hard to really answer that. That's a great question, Laurel Creek. If your sales are mostly shoes, well, are you making good money on shoes? That would be my question. Do you like selling shoes? I'd say if you can answer those two questions with yes, if you're making decent money and you have a good supply of shoes wherever you're located, then that may be something to consider. Not sure if you have my spreadsheet, but on my spreadsheet, you can track what categories are selling the best for you. And that has led me to looking for specific items based on the profit that I'm getting. So, for example, my top selling category is always golf equipment. I average $58 profit in golf equipment with 10 sales I've made this year. So, you can believe that one of the first things, and I love selling golf stuff, but I'm always looking for golf bags, golf clubs, because they bring in really good profit. So I'm not sure if you have my spreadsheet, but if you're looking for something to help you track, I've got it linked above, and it will help you track to see what your shoes are bringing in profit margin per item. If you don't already have something like that. Brandon says, pro tip, I do flat rate envelope labels and throw them in a poly. And it's $7.60 all day. Okay. I guess you can do that if you're paying for the service and you're using the envelope. I guess you can add that protection. Okay. Make profit of 20 plus on the shoes. Yeah, I think that's good. And shoes are obviously a great margin to your store. So, I mean, maybe that's worth it for you. Get rid of the items that aren't selling that well and focus on the items that do. Ruthie says, I recently got your pro sheet. I love it. Thank you, Ruthie. Yeah, as long as you can find enough shoes to make your business worth it. Um, I mean, I wish I could make my business only golf stuff, but I can't find enough. So I have to throw in like shirts and clothing and things. So if you haven't the supply there that you need to do well with shoes, I'd say go for it. Um, and there are a lot of people out there that are sneakerheads that love shoes, collectors. If you can find some, especially higher end ones where you're at. Unfortunately for us, or for me here in Arkansas, the shoes are really spotty. I just don't like in Denver, they were amazing. I would always come home with really good shoes in great condition. Here, it's not the case. This next item, $22 on an offer, Patagonia, like hemp cotton blend shirt. Paid $4 for it, and it sold within 17 days of listing it. Brian, what about you? If you're still watching up there near, what are you in Joplin or I think you're in Joplin? Do you guys have good shoes up there? Typically on a Patagonia shirt, I would think I would get 25 or more. I accept an offer of 22. But again, I picked up 4 Patagonia shirts at this thrift store not even 3 weeks ago. That was the third one to sell in that $20 range. So even selling at 22 because I got it for so cheap, $4, I made $15.93 profit on just one of those. I guess between the three, yeah, I'm averaging around $15 profit. So I sold 3 of those and made $45 back in profit on top of what I already paid within 2.5 weeks of selling those. Tej in the house. Is that Tej or TJ? It looks like Tej, but maybe you go by Tej and TJ. Who knows? Welcome back. Thanks for joining me. All right. Going out this morning. Someone is getting ready for fantasy football, for the NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers hat. Check this out. This trucker style hat. It's I think that's a vintage tag, AJD. I could be wrong, but got some good money on this. $18 plus $6 shipping on this pretty sweet Pittsburgh Steelers hat. And that may not be a vintage tag, but someone's, I mean, I don't know that anyone cares that's getting it. They're getting a sweet Steelers hat. All right. This is overkill because you guys have heard me say this a lot, but you may be new to me watching. Hat goes in a poly mailer. Poly mailer goes in this 9x8x4 box. I've got it linked up above, up here in the bio down below on YouTube. And all of that with the poly mailer, the hat, and the box, it's still 8 ounces or less, which gives me the cheapest ground advantage rate. $4.20 to ship this out. Going to Bentleyville, Pennsylvania. Jason, got another fellow Jason. So $14.34 profit on that hat. I typically won't pay up for hats, guys, because depending on the store, some people just do like $1 or $2 at stores for hats, and that's when I'll look through hats. If they're charging $4.99 for a hat, unless it's a brand new hat, I'm not picking it up. All right. Okay, that's right, Brian. Brian says he doesn't sell clothes. That's right, because you come to the Ben's store every once in a while and sort through like the hard goods and stuff. Okay, I'm going to show you my biggest sale of the weekend. Came out on Friday. I did a little happy dance when it came in because this made my day. Guys, I don't know if this has happened to you. Please let me know in the comments if you have. This happens to me all the time. I literally I'll remember, and keep in mind if you're somewhat new to me, I have like 1,500 items in my inventory. I have things that I've forgotten about. I have items that I'm like, oh yeah, I still have that. That's a pretty cool thing. Why hasn't that sold yet? It has happened too many times to be coincidence. I'll think of an item and I'll be like, oh yeah, I still have that in my inventory, and it will sell. It's like just thinking about it. And it's not something where I can be like, okay, let's try and think of my most expensive item and let's try and like manipulate a sale. It doesn't work like that. But I literally was thinking about this item. It retails for $200. And I was thinking, I still have that. I wonder if it's going to sell. On Friday, I accepted an offer on Poshmark that was really good for $145. When I saw this shirt at the thrift store, I paid $6 for it. I was like, did someone not price this right? Because this should have been like $20, $30. It's new with tags. It's Tommy Bahama. The new with tags, Tommy Bahama. But I'm interested to know if you've ever seen this tag before. Tommy Bahama, the baseball logo. Got the baseball there. So I had never seen a Tommy Bahama baseball themed shirt. I've never thrifted one. I've seen them on, I've seen people pick up like Hawaiian style baseball team shirts. But look at this. Check out that shirt. World Series Champions 2015 Tommy Bahama. This shirt was $6 at the thrift store. Got the patch on the front. World Series Champions 2015. Got the KC logo on the sleeve. Yeah, I mean, this thing is just sweet. I guess it doesn't really have anything on the other sleeve. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it when I saw this for $6. Great thing is it's a men's 2XL, which is a great size. So when I had a piece like this, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. I mean, someone out there is waiting for a Hawaiian shirt with the Royals World Series on it. I had it for 179. They offered 145, and I thought, I'm not even countering. I'm accepting that. I paid 6. I'm getting 145. Yeah, Brandon says that's a dope shirt. It is a dope shirt. Like um, this is why I do it. To find stuff like this. Like I don't get excited about the LL Bean flannels as much anymore. But when you go into a thrift store and you find something like that, that's pretty cool. It even has like the 1985 World Series patch on there, going back to who was that? Brett. George, was it George Brett back in the 80s World Series? Someone in here knows. I know the Royals aren't like a huge market, but someone remembers that the 80s Royals World Series. Was it George Brett? I think it was. Yeah, someone says, let me see the logo again. You can see the 2015 and the 1985 right there. How cool is this shirt? Like huge on the back. And I also get nervous when I have something like this that's white and new. I'm like, okay, they spent $145 on this. I got to be careful and make sure that it doesn't get marks on it. So I'm going to actually double bag this because it is white, because it is new, it is valuable. I'll throw this in a poly mailer. I hardly ever do this, but for an item like this, 145, a very valuable item, I'm going to do it. And the beauty of this is it sold on Poshmark. I know that is not coming back. The buyer can't try it on and say, it doesn't fit. Can I return it? It is gone, and it's a good sale. So yeah, I wasn't even going to try and counter that and lose a buyer. 145. If he had sent an offer of 100, I would have thought about it. I probably would have countered. But 145 on a 179 shirt, that's a no-brainer. You take that all day. How much did I sell it for? Yeah, 145. And as my Poshmark sales increase, especially with like auto posher, that's the beauty, is it's out there. It's not coming back. As long as it is what you say it is, and it's not like an item not as described, that item is not going to be returned. That is an item that I posted on Mercari. I put it on Grailed. I put it on all the sites. When I have an item like that, it's retails for almost $200 and I'm going to get over 100 for it. It's definitely I'm going to take the time to list that, to get all those pictures of all the hits on the sleeve, on the back, on the front, the tag. I mean, I spend a lot of time on items like that. When it comes to bread and butter items, it's click, 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 3 pictures and done. But when it comes to an item like that, that's where I spend my time. I make sure to get several pictures showing it all off because that's what's going to sell it. And I make sure to cross list that on multiple sites, not just eBay and Poshmark, but get it out where everyone can see it because you never know where that collector is. So let's look at the numbers on that. $145. I paid $6. $29 Poshmark fee because it's 20% of the 145. And I made $109.86 in profit. That one shirt on Friday. So my one Friday sale, which I had a few sales on Friday, but that one sale made my day. And it took 141 days to sell. And that's okay. I'll wait for that buyer all day. I'm not worried. If that would have taken 380 days to sell, I would have been fine. I would have just waited. Wimbles, what's going on? Laura Wimbles in the YouTube here. Okay, so that's everything I have from this weekend. I had a buyer pay for an item that I accepted an offer on before I went live here. I don't have it with me, but I'll tell you what it was because this was actually a pretty quick sale too. I listed on July 18th, so not even 2 weeks ago. Let me go ahead and pull it out of inventory. This was an item at the store that was in the men's section, but it was a women's shirt. I didn't even have a chance to cross list it yet. It sold so fast. So let me go grab it in my spreadsheet real quick. Again, if you're looking for a spreadsheet, I've got over close to 1,000 people this year alone. Over 1,000 if you look at my last 2 years, but close to 1,000 people who have purchased my spreadsheet are using it to make sense of their numbers with their online business. Doesn't matter if you're on one platform or 10. You can use this for that. Actually, I do take that back. I only give you 7 platform spots, but there aren't many people that are on more than, I'd say, 6. I've got it linked above. You can see some YouTube videos. You can see pictures. I've got a pretty hefty description showing you exactly what it is. Over 155-star reviews on that. And of course, every time someone leaves me feedback, letting me know how much they love it, it makes me feel really good that it's helping people in their business. Because if you don't know your numbers, you can't make informed decisions. Just like Laurel, who said, should I focus on shoes? She's changing her business. I'm guessing I don't know, maybe Laurel is the name of the town, but I'll say they are changing their business to focus on those items that are bringing in more money. And so that's what this sheet is for. I do. Question came in on TikTok. Do I source vintage single stitch tees? I do look for vintage tees. I just don't find them very often. And the single stitch are very hard to find. You're welcome, Laura. I'm glad I got that right. I don't want to misgender anyone. Okay, so the shirt that I alluded to that sold, just got paid for when I went live here, was an Eileen Fisher silk top. And it was in the men's section. It was a women's shirt. I wasn't, certain Eileen Fisher stuff does okay, but I was pleasantly surprised because this was, I don't know if it was 100% silk. Yeah, 100% silk. It sold really fast. So it took 13 days to sell from the day that I listed, excuse me, the day that I listed it. And it went for $30 on a best offer, 30 plus 6 shipping. So it would have been an item I paid $4.99 for at this thrift store because Goodwill standard pricing $4.99 on their shirts, and got $30 for it. Brandon says, if I find any concert tees, I'll buy them from you. Yeah, I can count on my hand how many times. I don't spend a lot of time in vintage tees. That's somewhat changing, or in the tee section in general. But I'll tell you if I do find some, I appreciate that. It's saying I'll buy them from you. I'll tell you my best vintage tees that I've ever found. Probably the best shirt that I ever sold went for $130. It was a vintage Red Hot Chili Peppers 1990s t-shirt. I don't remember the year exactly, but it was the tour they did that year in the 90s. Went for $130, and I paid $2 or $3 for it. I found for $1. I was home. This was before we were living in Arkansas. I came home for the holidays, Christmas, and we were thrifting at a thrift store around here. And it was just like some hole in the wall thrift store I hadn't really ever been to. They had t-shirts for $1, and it was Slayer. Remember that band, Slayer? Really cool graphic. I put that on and sold it for $100 from $1. And then I found some other ones in there. I think I found a vintage Pantera t-shirt that had like flames coming up. I sold that for about 60 to 70. I found this was a cool story. I was at Goodwill one time and there was this like high school, college age kid. I say kid, he's a kid to me. He's half my age. In the t-shirt section, and he was throwing them in his cart, and I was like, man, he's getting some good t-shirts. And he held up this shirt, and it was 1995, I think, Dallas Cowboys Tasmanian Devil shirt. Remember those? Like the big, huge graphic on the front and the back, where he's like running through the wall, running through the shirt. And he held it up and he's looking at it. And I'm like, oh man, I want that. And I'm just kind of like watching him out of the corner of my eye. Like I'm looking at the rack, but I'm just like, if he drops that, I'm going to grab it. And he held it up and I could tell he was debating. He was like, do I want this? And then he put it back in the rack. And I just kind of slowly just waited and waited. And he rounded the corner and I grabbed that sucker. That sold for 65 on Depop. I'm like, man, I don't know why you put this down, but I think he was just thinking like, do I want to wear this? I don't think he was buying to resell. I think he was buying to wear for himself. Maybe he wasn't a Cowboys fan. I don't know. So those are kind of some of my top vintage tees, but I don't find them very often. It's so hard. Ruthie says, love your customer support. My questions answered quickly. Yeah, my goal is to answer questions within a business day. So if you email me on a Friday afternoon, there's a good chance I'm not getting to it until Monday morning. Unless I know it's a quick fix that I can just, answer real quick. But if you email me during the week, if it's not the same day, it'll be the next morning. Brandon, would love to know some vintage tees that you found in the wild. Just remembered I've got this return on these Brooks Brothers shorts that were stained. I sold as is, and the buyer claimed they were worse than they thought. So they returned them. Fine. I could have just emailed. I could have just refunded their money, but I honestly thought they were just trying to get a partial refund, so I let them return them. Says doesn't match description or photos, and basically said a lot worse than, like I said, a lot worse than I listed them as, even though I had pictures of the stains. I had a description mentioning that these were sold as is. So I'm going to refund them. I'm not going to refund them the shipping because they were stained pants that they got for $6. Stained shorts. And of course, because they didn't say change mine, they said doesn't match description. I don't get my eBay fees back, which is fine. It was only a $6 item. I'm just glad that wasn't like a $100 item. My fees were probably $1 or so or less. Counting for that in the sheet here. So let's go plop this back in inventory now. I don't really want to sell these again, but it's not going to be hard to relist them, so I might as well and get my $7 or $8 back. Why is it doing this? Wimble says, I miss catching the live streams. Glad I'm catching this one. Yeah, so thankful to have you on here. Normally I'm seeing you on TikTok back in the OG days. All right, so I need to get these relisted. I'll just actually keep these in the package that he sent them in, and I'll just throw them in the bin and then just slap the label on those once they sell again. Now, I'm not going to make any money on these, but all right, got them listed. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm now at ground zero on the return game. That means I have no returns active in process right now. So let's hope we keep that. I may have jinxed myself. I definitely don't want to jinx myself. All right, I'm going to hang on here for just a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and get these cross-listed out there through Vendu. The shorts that I just took back, get them posted back out to all the sites before I forget. Did your comments get muted? I don't know. All I saw was a few of them go for over $200, but I didn't. It sounds like there was a message in there that didn't get sent, which is crazy. Did TikTok mute some? It doesn't say that comments were muted. Okay. Those are gone. All right, guys, I think I'm going to shut it off here. Oh, I did see that comment earlier. Treasure Vintage Shop spent $500 yesterday for 20-ish single stitch tees. Where did you? How did you get connected with that? Is that someone you found on Facebook, or did you say you may have said earlier that you were looking back on your comments where you found those? I don't see it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut down YouTube. Thanks for joining me here on the Shipping Live. Got a handful of people. It's fun. It's been growing over there. More and more people coming in every day to watch me ship, answer questions, just say hello and hang out while they're listing or working or doing whatever they're doing. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming in today. I'm sure I'll be live again this week. So remember, if you're wanting to support me by going to Whatnot, if you're already on Whatnot, go follow me, Jason Hayes, all one word. And my first show is in 2 weeks from tomorrow. I'll have 40 to 50 items. I'll have 3 giveaways. You guys saw the Miller High Life hat I'm going to be giving away. You don't have to do anything to get that hat to get in the giveaway. All you need to do is follow me on Whatnot and be in the live show when it goes live. It'll be the first thing I give away. It'll be my first official giveaway ever on Whatnot. So go bookmark the show if you haven't already and would like to be there for that. Anyways, thank you for watching on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and end now. You guys have a great week.